I had a great time doing this interview with Kelly and Yuli at Kelly's Tattooos. The idea of putting your art permanently onto someone has always fascinated me. So when I first started assembling the idea for the podcast, I knew I would have to get to know a tattoo artist. I was not at all disappointed. During the interview, setup, and teardown, I met some genuine, big, and fun personalities, as well as a master artist working to teach the skills of his craft, while also fostering his apprentices' creativity. I hope you will join me as we go to meet Yuli and Kelly at Kelly's Tattooos. On a side note, the audio is a little bit rough, especially in the beginning. I was using a different microphone and mixer setup than I'm used to, and I will admit I was a little bit nervous recording with a live audience, let's say. But I hope it doesn't take away from the fascination I had with this interview. So I'm here with in Kelly's Tattoo with Kelly himself and another tattoo, Yuli. I'll let y'all say a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name's Kelly Kirkland. I've owned and operated Kelly's Tattooos for almost 30 years now. I apprenticed and did all the cool stuff with Easy Rider magazine and Tattoo magazine, and started this and been all over, done that thing. She just started with me as an apprentice, and I'm going to tell you.
Yes. Yeah. So my name is Juliana Alvarado, and so I recently completed my apprenticeship under Kelly in April of 2022. But Kelly taught me everything that I know on how to tattoo, and I am currently employed here and am finishing out my work contract with him. And even in those 4 years that I'm working afterwards, I am still learning under him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So what exactly... Oops. I messed up. I've got my mic way too loud. Give me 1 second. Okay. I think so. Maybe. There we go. I'm back to normal. Okay. So what exactly does like the apprenticeship entail? Like, because that's always interested me. Like,
yes. So... honestly, how everyone has a different story with their apprenticeship. In my case, I just came in because I saw that they had an opening for an artist or an apprentice, and I showed Kelly some of my work, and I was able to get a contract under him to be able to learn how to tattoo. And so the learning process takes about a year. I believe I completed mine in about 9 months with my apprenticeship. And with that, it is just a lot of hands-on. It's a working environment, but you're also learning. And a lot of it is also just observing Kelly and how he's tattooing, how to run the shop, and just the business in general. And he teaches you a lot in that as well.
Yeah, so like when you say show them your work, it is like just
yes.
Artwork?
So some people come in with a portfolio already set up. I just had a couple of paintings and I showed him some of my work that I have on my Instagram because I've always been interested in art. I actually went to TJC and was working on my game development and design degree. I ended up not finishing that because I ended up coming in the route of tattooing, and that's how I am here now. But I've always been interested in art, and ever since I was little, maybe like 12 years old, just been on that constantly. And this is just something that's a great career, and it's also a lot of artistic freedom, and there's a lot of opportunity in this as well.
Okay, so I mean, like obviously a lot of art and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go Kelly first, then you can answer it. Like what was y'all's relationship to art before you started tattooing?
I just was able to draw instantly. Just started picking up a pencil and just started working on all kinds of stuff. One of the first things my mother told me when I was a kid is that, you draw a house when you're a little kid, and you make the 2 lines and the little A-frame and maybe a little door, a little window. I did the side of the house with a side of the window with a chimney and a tree and the driveway and, sun and moon and all kind of crap that I put on there, you know what I mean? And so it was just something that come out of me all the time. So,
yeah.
And like I said, I did my first tattoo in 1987, and my friends were watching me draw all the time, and I just kind of picked it up, and that was in Okinawa, Japan. I was in the Marine Corps, and we did some in the barracks. I mean, at the time, they really didn't mind you doing that back then. But I think they frown on it now.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. but I was tattooing in Okinawa until I got out of the Marine Corps, and then went to a local tattoo artist in out by Houston, Beaumont area, and the first apprenticeship I got wasn't very good. It was not with real good people.
Yeah.
So I had to quit that one, and I think we need some people walking by.
Oh, okay. Yeah, y'all can come on through. No problem.
Yeah, they'll.
No, you're okay.
Part of the atmosphere.
It's a working thing, man. We're at the shop. So.
I'm trying to disrupt y'all's little.
No, you're fine. But my first apprenticeship, I had to quit that, and then I went with another guy named Miller Cotton, who's been in the industry and was working with a lot of big names, and that was in Springfield, Missouri. And then from there, I did a tour with Easy Rider Magazine, Tattoo Magazine. I've been all over the country tattooing. I traveled with them, and I've probably done Sturgis, I don't know how many times. You know, I lose count of how many shows and things. Mm-hmm. All these badges behind me are all shows that I've worked at all over the country.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's a lot, and we're heading to New Orleans in what is it, about a month or so?
In September, early September.
Yeah,
and we just got through doing a show in Houston. I do a lot of judging now. You know,
Yes.
I do a lot of the judging part of it. You know, you've seen Ink Master and stuff where the guys are on the judging table.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I do. You know, at the shows and everything. And that's what a lot of these plaques up here behind your head is all shows that I've judged at, you know. And, you know, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff across the country, you know. I started professionally tattooing in 91, and I've been in this shopping center right here since 94. How old was you in 94?
-5.
Yeah, so most of my artists and apprentices and stuff, they wasn't even born yet.
No.
When I was tattooing, starting out. But you know, most of my crew is all girls nowadays, which is really, really wild. You know, you really don't have.
What was it not like that in there?
No, no. Female tattoo artists were really kind of hard to come by. This job and it's kind of a tough job to do because you're dealing with a lot of different things, you know, whether it's customers can be cranky, you know, or
A lot of drunk tattoo
Yes.
ideas.
and you know you'll have to deal with a lot of different things in this. But I'll let Yuli talk a little bit. But you know, this job can be kind of tough when it comes to just working with the general public. Sometimes.
Definitely.
It's a lot of fun, but it also has its tough parts too, you know. So, how do you like working with the general public?
So with this, there's a lot that goes into tattooing more than I thought. Really, Kelly makes it seem so easy, and so I was like, yeah, that'd be fun to try out. And then I started, and I was like, I am struggling really bad. And so it was just a lot of practice. It's not something that you can just pick up super easy. There's a lot that goes into it. And so Kelly does a really good job in teaching you the basics, and there's only so much that he can teach you. And so some part of it as well is also just figuring it out for yourself, because everybody's different. There's so many different ways to like hold your machine, your setups. And so Kelly just helps really with giving you the tools, and then you just kind of have to figure it out, find out your style, what you like. And then there's a lot of creative freedom depending on the pieces as well, which I find is a lot of fun as well with that.
Yeah. Being a freehand artist, it makes you be able to create on people, which is really fun, you know.
So, 2 questions that go with that. So, you start your apprenticeship and stuff. How do you practice without ruining somebody's arm or leg or whatever?
Right. So With that, there is a lot. I did a lot of drawing on paper before I was even able to pick up a machine. And I did a lot of just folding towels, making sure the shop is clean, making sure that everything is nice, because a lot of it too is just having a business that looks good. And it, right as you open the door, it also smells like, oh, this is like clean. This is a nice environment, which is also what led me to want to apprentice under Kelly because of the business that he built for himself. And so with that being said, I was not able to pick up a machine for a couple of months. I was hoping it'd be a right away thing, but it isn't. But once I was able to start figuring out how to do the setup and starting to tattoo, I did a lot of practice on fake skin, and it was just a lot of back and forth with that, and Kelly showing me different techniques.
What is
fake skin? Yeah. Oh, okay. So fake skin.
You want to go grab some? You still have some?
Yes, I do have some fake skin.
I
can go bring some real quick.
So basically, it's silicone. Yeah. And so it kind of helps you. What it does, it kind of helps you hold the machine and know how it feels and how much weight is involved, and you really can't absolutely fake a tattoo on real heartbeat skin.
Yeah.
But this is the closest you can get to it without you actually messing anybody's tattoo up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you don't want that. Back when I was coming up, they didn't have this silicone stuff. We tattooed on oranges or grapefruits or chicken thighs or whatever each other.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah, like the Stitches training where they have like a chicken or a piece of pork or something. I was wondering if it was like
really
that.
What it is, it's just a piece of silicone that helps you look at it. I mean, it helps you kind of see how to hold your machine and how to hold, how the depth of your needle and, kind of helps you move through, getting this thing done. And, there's some thicker ones, there's some thinner ones, there's body parts.
That you can buy body parts.
And,
Then you can buy like fake cats to just tat up, just to do some designs onto.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, there's some skinless cats that they made out of this stuff, and you can tattoo all over it.
Definitely.
It's a lot of fun though.
So that's another question I have. Do you have any tattoos that y'all wish y'all could go back and like undo or redo?
As in ourselves or work that we've done?
Like work that you've done where you've like.
Of course you're going to have when you first start out, you're going to get better and you're going to wish it. I have best friends that I still keep in touch with that I need to go back when 35 years ago that I wasn't near what I am now, and you definitely want to go back there. But he lives out of town, and it's really hard for us to get together, but I'd cover it up for free just because my name won't be attached to it.
That's what I was wondering. Do you like ever see one in public and be like, oh, I did that?
Yeah.
My wife has a bunch of tattoos I did when we first got started. They still look great, There's nothing wrong with them. I think they look awesome, But tattooing, man, it's, when you first start out, it's nerve-wracking. When you first get your first real person in the chair, no matter how many times you've practiced on these fake skins or drew or anything, your first one's making you sweat.
Oh, yeah.
We get another apprentice that's just right behind her.
Yes.
You want to come on over? You want to say your name?
Introduce yourself into a microphone.
Oh, I'm Gracie.
Yeah, that's all.
Hi.
I'll go ahead and ask you, like, what's been like being an apprentice and everything? What's that been like? And say it into the microphone, if you will.
Yes.
It's very fun. It's also a little stressful. It does make you sweat. I'm gonna be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a working shop. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Right.
But yes, she's been tattooing a little longer than she has. Yeah, and so she's just now starting to finish up her apprenticeship. She'll be done pretty soon.
A couple of months.
A couple months, and it's a 5-year thing. That's how I do it.
Yes.
Your first year is going to be your apprentice year that you're cleaning the shop. You're making sure everything is good to go. You're learning all the stuff that needs to go behind the scenes of a good tattoo shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of cleaning and there's a lot of breaking stations down, learning how to set them up, and so there's a lot of medical part of it where you don't want to be cross-contaminating stuff. So we're really high in on that,
Yes, definitely.
And, being able to, medical, your sterilization, your cross-contamination, you got to have all that certified by the health department. The health department comes by here regularly
Yes.
and inspects the shop. And, we take, we just got through doing our Red Cross.
Yes, we did our basic first aid and CPR as well, but we all bloodborne pathogen certified, and so it's about a 3-hour course. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer because there's a lot of information to take in, but definitely the medical part is just as important as the technique.
Yeah. So, and I mean, that is a thing I've always heard about people being really concerned about that.
Yes.
Was that a big problem at any point?
Absolutely. I've been tattooing a long time, and back when I first started, the medical side of it wasn't a big concern. You know what I mean? They were just getting out of, tattooing with no gloves on. Back in the 30s and 40s and 50s, they tattooed with no gloves. Wiping people's skin and just getting ink all over them, and not really doing much to try and make their client, where they wouldn't get any kind of infections or anything like that. It was a big thing back then that the tattoos would get infected, and now it's a big deal. The health department comes in and makes sure that everybody knows their stuff. On how to run a sterilizer. How do you clean your stations? What do you use? And so the cleaning part is huge, man. And a lot of shops, I see at shows especially they'll not be as specific as they need to be.
Definitely.
Falls by the wayside.
Yeah. They're more worried about how the work looks, which is great. I want the tattoo to look great.
Yeah.
But you also want to keep everything clean too.
Yes.
So y'all mentioned a lot about like the apprenticeships and stuff. Is that you said it's 4 or 5 years, right?
Yeah, it's a 5-year.
Yeah.
After your first year is done, you have a guaranteed job here.
Yes.
For 4 years.
Yes.
And if you want to keep working here, you have a full-time job.
So is that like a standard thing across it?
It's not.
No.
It's not. Each client. Each artist
shop.
is different. I've got one that's doing a little bit shorter because they're moving out of the city. They're going somewhere. Their family's moving or something like that. So I kind of made it a little different. I try to be as good as I can for everybody. You know what I mean? But that's the basic that we do. That's what I did. I signed a 5-year contract back in what year was that? Early 90s. But it's just, it was a 5-year contract. I lived up to every word of it. And then at the end of the contract, I bought the company, and I've been here ever since. And like I said, I traveled a lot when I first started with that company, Miller Cotton's Tattoos out of Springfield, Missouri. And, it was a tough apprenticeship. He wasn't easy on me. And so it's just, I hold my artists to a high standard. I don't cut corners. I want everything to be nice and clean, and I want clients to come in and see a beautiful shop and know that the artists know what they're doing, and they're not gonna treat them wrong or do something bad that's gonna hurt their tattoo or anything like that.
All about your reputation.
Absolutely.
That's why there's so many people walking through the frame.
Right.
Yeah, we stay pretty busy, man.
We do.
I'm booked out to about 3 months. I stay pretty busy, like I said, I try to give all my clients, all my artists, some clients to work on, so they stay busy also. So we just rocking and rolling around here, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
But and while you're doing that, you also have to keep the shop clean.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So don't let that slide.
Yeah.
You know, clean glass. If you see glass and you have fingerprints, we're a family-friendly shop, so you can get a piercing, an ear piercing for little kids like 5 years old and up. So if they got their birth certificate and their parents with them and they got proof that that's their child, 5 years and up, we're doing earlobes for little kids. The health department said it was fine. So we're doing that. So we're family friendly, you know what I mean?
Yes.
We want you to be able to come in and bring your
family.
grandma and bring your daughter.
Definitely. And we get that a lot too. A lot of older people, they'll be like, oh, it's my first tattoo, but I feel like I'm too old. I'm like 70. And I'm like, if you want to get it, like there's nothing wrong with that. Like that's awesome.
I think my artist here did, how old were they?
The other day?
Yeah.
Oh, 72.
72. Yeah.
Getting their first one.
It's super fun. Super
I've
fun.
had 3-4 generations in here getting work done at once.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something getting done. You know? That's awesome.
That's very cool.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
That the generation that they came up in, they wasn't allowed to get a tattoo, even though they wanted one. Society or whatnot said that you're not allowed. So, and it's sad that they got one at 70. They could have had one when they were 20.
So another question I had with all this was, like, how much freedom do y'all have, like, artistically when you're doing somebody's tattoo, or is it more based on what they would want?
Well, I do both. Now, if she's starting out, you know, an artist, a client will come in with an idea and they'll have that, this is what I want. They'll find it on Google Images or Pinterest, or maybe a family member might have had it and they're passed away or something and I want to repeat it. Yeah. You know, that's going to be something that I want her to do and get behind and really kind of keep that kind of going. And I do a lot more freehand, big body pieces, and
Definitely.
design whole sleeves, and you know, but it just, you know, I have a lot of fun doing what I do.
Yes.
But the freedom there for me is great. You know, I think it's an honor to be able to put my art on people. You know, and somebody says, "Hey, man, it's your tattoo. You do whatever you want." You know, I have some ideas. I kind of like. You know, I like, I don't know, like the Kraken. I was talking to somebody online earlier, and they wanted the Kraken, which is a big octopus on their leg. And they're like, you just draw it, man. Do whatever you want. Yeah. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, what was I gonna say? Like, what makes you decide, like, I want to put my artwork on other people? Like, 'cause that's gotta take a lot of confidence to do.
It does.
Definitely. So in the beginning, when I first started just doing a lot of drawing and art, people would constantly just be like, oh, you should be like a tattoo artist. That'd be so cool. And this and that. And I'd always tell them, like, no, I don't think I could think about putting something permanent that I did on somebody. And now here I am, a tattoo artist working for Kelly. And honestly, it was a big thing to get over. I didn't really think this, but tattooing also has a lot to do, like, with you mentally, and your confidence. And so I had a lot of trouble with that, especially when I was first starting out, like, oh, am I going to do good? Like, this is permanent. I can't mess up. But really, once you calm those thoughts down, and it's just, you follow the purple line. That's what Kelly would always tell me, just follow the purple line. And so by that, he just means to follow the stencil, how it is on people. I'm sure you've seen when people get tattoos, it's like a purple, basically idea of what they're going to do before they do the actual tattoo, before it's permanent. And so with that, I've slowly gained confidence in my skills and in my work. And so I've started to get a little bit to the part where people are like, yeah, you can have a little bit of creative freedom in my tattoo. And so with experience, experience, and with time, definitely, I want to be like Kelly and do a lot of freehand pieces and like do a lot of freehand pieces. But really, it's a lot of creativity with doing that as well, because people can come in and be like, I want a heart, and it's like, well, there's so many different kinds of hearts, and so our job, a lot of it is to design something to make it personal to them, and almost unique to them, and so that's definitely a lot of what we do as well with that. Yes.
So being able to create and relax is what she's basically, she just, when you're first starting out, you get the jitters.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's scary.
It is very scary. Yes.
But it takes years to get over that.
It does.
I mean, at first, your first time to do a tattoo is scary, and then the first time someone says, I just want you to do whatever you want. I have an idea for a skull or a dragon or something. Just draw it. And you're like, like a deer in the headlights type of thing, but you start to relax a little bit, and it just, all that kind of comes natural after a while, and you start to learn what goes on what body parts, People will come in and say, I want a heart here, or I want a whatever on my elbow. You got to learn that sometimes you got to tell a client, that may not be the best place to put that, You don't want to put people's faces on an elbow, you know what I mean? So you got to be able to learn how to talk to people and maybe be creative with them. And so it's just one of them things, man. You got to learn it. And like she was saying earlier, I can't teach you that.
No.
That has to come from experience, I can't, when you're first starting out, I can show you everything, but I can't do it for you.
Yeah.
You've got to pick it up, and you've got to lay it on the skin, and you've got to get yourself calm. I can't do those things,
Definitely. And even,
it's fun, nervous. You're kind of excited.
Yes, you gotta learn how to work with it, not against, like to not have it work against you. You have to work with it and just kind of go with the flow. And eventually you just kind of calm down, or at least for me, I just calm down and I get at a point where I'm like, oh, I'm comfortable. Like this is okay. But constantly you want to challenge yourself, and you want to be uncomfortable sometimes because you want to do better. And that's what I also like about working here, is that I always feel the need to just constantly challenge myself because I want to be a really good artist. Like that's what my end goal is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So speaking of artists, like where do you find inspiration from? Is it other tattoo artists? Is it like artwork you've seen before? Like where do you draw that from?
Man, we carry magazines here, and we'll sit on our downtime. We'll look through those, or we'll go through online, or basically anywhere. I've got artwork all over the shop, and that kind of inspires you to maybe create something, have fun with it, I want you to not stop drawing. Anytime you're on your downtime, I don't want you to just play video games on your phone.
Yeah.
I want you to create. I want you to draw, challenge your brain, you know what I mean? And you'll start to see that kind of stuff will come out onto your tattoo. And when that happens, your clientele will go through the roof, because people are going to start wanting your work. I've got a certain style. That's the way I do things. And
definitely.
You can definitely tell that I did it.
And in a way, too, when I first started tattooing, my coworker mentioned to me that certain artists just have like a signature almost. It's almost like handwriting. You can just tell that a certain person did it. And so I found, even with time, I'm able to see, I'm like, oh, that's like Kelly's work, or that's like my coworker Terry Lynn's work. And so really it's just a mix of finding almost like your signature in a way. There's just certain little things that certain artists do that you're like, oh, that's like their signature, that's their touch to the piece. And so that's definitely interesting to see, because I notice it a lot more, and so it's almost like consistent even if it's a different idea. Like I can still tell if a tattoo was done by Kelly, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You need to get some work done.
I
see you don't have a lot of
no.
I like to tell people, do you have any tattoos? Oh yeah, I've got an eagle across my chest.
Let me get the marker. real quick.
Scribble it on, yeah.
Ta-da! But yeah, that'd be cool.
Maybe one day, man.
Yeah.
Not today.
We can set that up. You can do it all on your cast.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. You could get a dot that says the world really far away.
It's just
That's what Earth looks like from Jupiter.
yeah.
Well, I mean, thanks for sitting down, giving this interview. If y'all want to like plug y'all's social media or anything like that, that'd be great.
You know, we're on all social medias basically.
Yes.
Facebook, Instagram. You can reach us at Messenger, Kelly's Tattoos.
We also have our website.
Yeah, kellystattoos.com. And then, you know, any way you want to get a hold of us, you can definitely get a hold of us. And if you want to get some work done or, you know, think about something new or it's your first one, come on by and definitely going to take care of you. Oh, one other thing. If we do a tattoo at this shop,
Yes.
it's guaranteed for life. Touch-ups are free, forever.
Yes.
So as long as
come back in and make it look new.
yeah.
Yep.
I've had people come back in 30 years, 40 years, not 40 because I've only been tattooing 35 years.
Yeah.
But, you know.
You don't know where they came from.
But I can tell I did it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I know what the style was. And 30 years ago, I know what was in, you know. Right now, what's in is Polynesian.
Yes.
And that's really in, you know. Like what The Rock's got on his shoulder, you know. Tribal was in 10 years ago, and cartoons and things like that were in 30 years ago. So I pretty much know what I did, and you know, they'll come back and say, hey, you did this. I'm like, I know.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
It's that
I can
artist
definitely-
signature on
Oh,
it.
Yes,
yeah, I can definitely
yes.
tell I did it.
Yes.
And I'll just touch it up, freshen it right up for free. No questions asked.
That's great, man.
Yeah. A lot of shops don't do that.
No, they
you know?
don't.
Yeah.
So, you know, because my name's on it, our shop's name's on it, I want the artist to feel that the art is looking great for a long period of time.
Yes.
And if the client comes back and says, hey, I was in the sun, I didn't mean to burn it up, but can you fix it up for us? No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Just
we've
keep
had
your
people,
reputation.
yeah,
Yes.
and we've had people get surgeries on chest. You know, they'll do something and they'll have to have something going on, and they'll have a surgery through it. I'll fix it right on up. Of course, it has to wait until that surgery heals a little bit, but you know, on normal standards, I've had people get, you know, animal bites or whatever, and once it's healed up, I'll fix it right on up. No problem.
That's great.
And that's awesome.
Thanks for letting me sit here,
yeah.
interrupt the flow of your business.
No, no,
No, you're good.
I enjoy it. Come back anytime.
Yeah. Thank y'all.
Yeah.
Of course.
Hi, I hope you enjoyed listening to the interview, and if you did, go ahead and just like and follow or whatever it is on the platform you're listening to. That just helps me reach more people. Thanks. I saw you just do that. You're pretty neat.